Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fabulous Saturday? Yes, Mama Mary on Saturday. And I've got a very, very cool ass guest for today. Before I bring his badass self up, I want to give a shout out to Arkansas Rocks FM for sending me this cool t shirt and autographed hat. But I have the one and only legendary Mr. Paul Traversi. What you doing, brother? He's like, here, let's have a drink.
I'm getting my wine on first. So my
Yeah,
first
there you
wine
go.
winery, Mr. Tool. Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well, I got my tea.
I gotta find out where that's at. There we go.
There you go. So how are you doing today, brother? How are you doing?
Mother Mary, speak to me, speaking words of wisdom. On my
Jan
friend.
Marie says, hey y'all, hey girl. And we got people pouring in here. For those that don't know who Paul Traversi is, you've been sleeping in a box. No, no. Paul is a director, actor, musician. He is the triple threat extraordinaire. He's just a badass mofo. And as y'all have seen me promoting, he has a movie called Cherry Future on Prime right now. Yes. And matter of fact, right here is the link. You go to Prime, type in Cherry Future, and buy that shit.
Buy it.
Yeah, buy that shit. Romp says, what's happening, brother?
Hey, hey, hey,
And Michelle and Roger says, hey, hey.
hey, hey. From LA. How are you guys?
And Sam Bones says, Happy New Year, Mary and PG.
Oh, thank you very much. Same to everybody out there. Yeah.
Oh, people are just starting to pour in. And there's Brandy Ballard for Arkansas Rock. See, I told you, girl, wearing it, wearing it. Gave you your shout out. She sent me this cool stuff from an Arkansas local radio station.
Nice. Very nice.
So Paul, those that don't know about you, which in a little bit we will pull up a video of your band Trouble in Heaven, which, by the way, you kick ass. But I want
Get
to
into a lot.
I want to talk about Cherry Future. First of all, I want to know what's the deal with Bridget and you?
A lot of people think it's a real relationship, but it's just acting. Just someone. Uh, Michelle Celeste is a good actor and just someone I teamed up with, and we just had this I don't know just chemistry that worked and a lot of improving and stuff. But people think we were actually a couple, so I guess that's good acting, you know.
Oh, I could have swore you were. I mean, I really could have.
Yeah.
Uh, Susie says, "Hey, Polly, going to be a great show."
We're just getting warmed up, and Susie knows how much trouble we can get into. So
Yeah, you and I talked earlier to do our sound check, and yeah, we're gonna have some fun. So, for you are endorsed by Schecter Guitars and Ernie Ball. First of all, congratulations on that badassery. And by the way, that purple guitar, that mother humper is badass. Look at that bitch. Yeah.
yeah, shout out to my homies at Schecter and Schecter Guitars, Scummy, and uh, the guys in Edema actually helped me hook that up, and we did a deal because when we started production on Cherry Futures, that's sort of how that came about, and didn't have an endorsement with 7 string guitars, and that one sort of fit.
Well,
And
I tell you what, when they see, no, because like I said, I'm going to be playing a video. Um, I'm going to play the video Trouble in Heaven, Day to Remember, that took place during the movie. But you is that your band Trouble in Heaven, or is that you? Because you do everything, don't you?
uh, uh, bands go through a lot of member changes. So, as in the movie, I just decided to put those changes. We wrote it into the script because you're going to lose. You're going to have a bass player for a couple of years. Something may happen. Music changes, personality changes. Money's tight. They go to something else, and then they come back. So, I was going to kind of the next movie is going to be different, but um, when I prefer to be in a band. I like being the main writer and just sort of not wasting time and having the songs ready, and then not having to deal with the legal side of sharing writing credits. And because you're going through members, every band's different. I'm more like a Trent Reznor or Prince, where I do everything.
Right.
But when I record, I never play drums on the recordings, maybe congas or something. But sometimes I play everything else, and usually it's a bass player and drummer to make the records. And then when we go live, we have a keyboard player or sequencing, or it's just, you have to work with what you have pretty much.
I agree. I agree. Michelle says, when California gets going again, we will be out to visit. And Sam Bone says, there you are, guys. I guess she couldn't find us. Now she's saying hi to Susie. She says, what's up, Paul? And Jerry is doing this. And people are just rolling in.
I actually see that so tiny,
And
barely. I can see people saying stuff, but
yeah,
it's so small I can barely see it.
yeah. And let's see. Billy goes, Mary Hall to Paul. And I mean, he's Rock Solemn and Rock Noise Tribe, all the best. Yeah, people are just pouring in here. So
Cool.
since we're getting people pouring in here, before we get into the fun stories and all that, I'm going to do what we talked about earlier, and I'm going to pull up your video, Trouble in Heaven, Day to Remember. Let me get this set up. And this way, they can kind of get an idea of, you know,
The
this was
fuck.
from the movie. This was from the movie Cherry Future. Now, guys, I'm telling you, you got to go get this movie. And we will ask Paul when we get back, what is Cherry Future? But y'all watch this video with me and Paul. And when we get back, we're going to find out what is Cherry Future.
Gervasi! Paulie,
Gervasi! I love his
Check the
court.
Schecter out. This guitar's falling apart. I love these Schecters. Hey, did you see Bridget tonight?
No, man.
All right, thanks.
You should know that I can't forget. I have rehearsed it again. Today I will swear that you know that I can't give it. Be the one, say they will remember, they won't forget it. You will be a legend. I'm riding time masterpiece. Yeah. The brightest side of the universe creates. We the slaves.
Now, these are scenes, this video, these are scenes from the movie Breath.
I know that I have to swim. Be the one day they will remember, they won't forget it. You will be a legend. Be the one day they will remember.
All right, we're just going to give y'all a little taste because I want y'all to go see this for yourself. But now you got an idea. First of all, Paul is badass. Second of all, I'm going to ask the ultimate question. What is Cherry Future?
Well, first of all, let me tell you that scene is at what used to be Gazzari's, which turned into the Key Club. And we were in a bottom in another club called the Plush Club. And we shot that on a Sunday. So obviously the Sunset Strip has changed through the years and ownerships. I mean, the Whiskey and Roxy are still there in the Viper Room. But Cherry Future was started with a song of just, it's taken me a while to learn how to write happy songs anymore, because we're always trying to write, ooh, do something badass, you know, something wicked sounding, which is kind of up my alley. But why don't we do something heavy and wicked, kind of like my idea was like Led Zeppelin did Kashmir. Why don't I do something sort of badass, but with like a good message? And Cherry Future was sort of about projecting your future. See yourself in that car or house or girl or guy or whatever. Really picture yourself in that and make it a game. When you have a bad day or you get kicked down, okay, can I really shake this off and just laugh it off? Which most of the time I can't, but it's a good practice, and it does take practice to be positive. So Cherry Future was probably about practicing being positive in the worst situation. I mean, like 2020 is the worst fucking year ever. I mean, I could just go down the bad stuff that happened to me and the really good stuff. So it's just Cherry Future is a message of just sort of believe into the cherry. Something is around the corner. It's not always good, but if you project your future, it'll probably happen, which it's done to me. It's not easy. It's not all hunky dory, but it's going to get you closer to because to happiness. And money doesn't always bring. Times with money brings a lot of unhappiness. It's that combination of we want money and stuff, but it's Cherry Future's about I guess projecting the future and getting it, having it. If that answers your question, Mama Mary.
Yes, it does. Steve Lynch is watching and does this.
I directed a couple of their videos. It was so fun working with those guys. And I'm lucky. I become good friends with a lot of these, Jeff Tate and Punky Meadows, Frank Domino, and Melissa Manchester, and from just working with them. And I guess I have a way of people, they'll let their guard down once they get to know me and trust me. And same with Gaga. I worked with her for a couple of weeks. That's, again, I'm projecting this shit. I'm like saying, I could fucking do this. Mind, like, are you sure you can do this? There's always that advocate in your mind saying, I just recently started a ranch a couple of years ago, and I was like, are you fucking sure you can do this? It just,
So tell me about your ranch. I have been seeing pictures and oh my God, from what I can see, it is absolutely gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's pretty lucky to have a place to get away from just this. I mean, I was at the epicenter of the riots and the protesting, and I mean, it was at both ends of my street. Um, but we're still alive. We're here talking right now.
Hell yeah. And having a drink.
Yeah, drink. What are you drinking? Oh, tea.
Yeah, I'm drinking me some green tea. Got to keep that strength up. Mm, mm.
You got any weed?
Yeah, I have medical. How about you? I even got my card.
Hey, funny story. Mike Anthony. I get this film that Mike Anthony's in, and uh, there was a pinball machine in the corner with women and children first. It was a women and children first themed pinball machine in the corner at his studio, and we were talking about it. And for somehow we were talking about that back cover. One of the pictures, Mike Anthony's got a joint, and we were talking about. It. He goes, "Oh, I don't smoke pot." I go, "What do you mean, rock star? You're Van Halen? You know, driving too slow for smoking weed." I'm like, "Oh shit! Don't tell anybody that." Point
Oh my
is,
goodness.
it was a funny moment. Good one.
Uh,
Yeah.
Billy Blackfeather says, like the tune, we'll have to go check out the movie. See
Oh,
that reeled them in to go buy to go buy Cherry Future. So that I accomplished my mission with that little taste.
yeah.
So I know you okay, we talked earlier and I took notes. I have to take notes. Yes, I do. And we want to first of all,
Barbie.
before we really deep, we want to thank everyone watching. I see you. Please if you're watching, comment, like, love, and share. Let us know you're there. And I want to know because we were talking earlier, and you mentioned a really interesting story. You told me to ask you about the Paul Stanley story.
Was that me?
Yeah, that was you.
Oh man. Well, first of all, who doesn't like Kiss as a kid? And you grow up with Kiss. It's like American Pie. Um, and then years later, you come face to face and you find out you're taller than them. It's pretty funny. Uh, what I can say about Paul is a lot of rock stars carry a mystique around them where you just can't roll up and say, "Paul, what up, dog?" You just can't do that.
Right.
The more you're around us, I like to say successful people, you have to sort of sense how do you approach this person if you're working with them, or you just want to say hi. A lot of times you just won't roll up and say, "Hey, I just wanted to say hi to you." Um,
Right.
their life story. Um, but B, listen to what they want to talk about because they usually want to talk about their current project or the new guitar player in the band. Um, I've seen him not be real open to fans and stuff, but and Ginger Baker was like that too. You have to sort of ignore some of these because they don't like being ignored and they'd rather come to you on their terms, not be bothered. And a lot of them are like in their defense, they're trying to keep a mystique about them and they don't want you to know everything about them. They want to be mysterious, which sells more records, makes them more valuable. So I think David Lee Roth is like that too. They learn these little tricks of the trade. Um, all right. So my story with Paul is one time we were at an event and he happened to come in and I got my, we did photos and stuff. And I was walking him back to his car to make sure he could get out because he had parked and blocked a bunch of cars. And I just ignored him. We just walked along, didn't talk about how big of a fan I was or whatever. And he was saying, "So what are you doing for Thanksgiving?" I go, "Oh, I think we're going to Lone Pine or something." He goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to my beach house. I'm gonna see my kids." And I know his son Evan, so I'm like, "Oh, Evan will like that. That'll be really cool." And
Right.
didn't even really look at him, just kind of walked alongside. And then he was in an SUV, and uh, he waved to me goodbye. And he's not normally like that. He's not. I don't think he's a really open person. I don't really know what's going on with him, but yeah, he doesn't like to be bothered. He likes his space, I guess. So I don't know if that's a good story or not, but
Well, I
I'd rather
mean,
than something bad go down, which it happens once in a while.
exactly, it just knowing that, you had a chance to work with, someone you looked up to and respected his space and then he acknowledged you, that's very cool. That's the cool way. And Steve says, "Hey guys, there's Mr. Lynch right there.
I
Hi,
see
Steve."
him.
Yeah, we had a great interview. He's a really cool dude. We had fun on our interview. So, how did you let you were talking earlier? What is your connection with like Corn and Lincoln Park and Disturbed and all them? And I know with you being a producer and director and musician, I know you have gotten a chance to work with some amazing people. And tell us some of your, stories about your connection with them. And
First of all,
Steve Steve Lynch says, "Hi, Paul."
I, I see you. The connection with uh, first of all, I did a movie about Charvel guitars. I make feature films, and I do records too. I do a lot of different things. I want to get further into feature films. I really enjoyed it, and it's very. I can't find anything more challenging. Uh, I'm doing this film about Charvel Guitars. This little manufacturing company that did Eddie Van Halen's guitars and Randy Rhoads. This little custom shop in San Dimas, and my good friend Mark DeLeon in Bakersfield. We were at a Gene Simmons event and in line, and just Mark was following the film. And he goes, "Oh, do you want to? You should talk to Head. He was a Charvel guy." I'm like, "Oh no shit." Well, I the subculture for me is and Trouble in Heaven is the sort of the new metal modern stuff. So I'm like, perfect. I'd love to just meet the guys, and he connected us, and we had some phone conversations, and he invited me up to a show. Um, it was up in Sacramento, and it's funny, Disturbed was there too, and we just hit it off because he's a seven stringer and I'm a seven string, which is like sort of like a little club, I guess. There's not a lot of us out there, and Steven from Deftones plays an eight string. It's kind of a unique little club that you know men know other men when they ooh you play seven. So anyways, we and he ended up doing a part in the new movie and how he used to his first guitar was a Charvel and he was a big Randy Rhoads fan and we've been good friends since and I'm a big fan of Corn and our music is similar so that's that story. What was the other one? Disturbed.
Yes, one of my
God,
favorite
I,
bands.
I,
I
I
love their vocalist.
yeah, I think I've known them for 15 years uh, through girlfriends and stuff and the Mike Wengren, the drummer, got to know him first, and then that's a very
Derek Prashon is on here, Paul Crosby's partner with 434 Management. He before him and Paul hooked up, he used to tour as I think it was like a tour manager or something like that with Corn. And he's on here and he says, "What's up?"
Hey, I probably know him. Where was I? Yeah, so yeah, Disturbance it's a tight family kind of little tight group of friends, and we just you get to know one, you get to know the other one, John Moyer and Danny Donegan. Uh, we're all pretty good friends, and I always see their shows. And um, John and I directed a video together. That was pretty cool. So like it's a 15-year friendship, and good and bad and ugly parties, and so.
Well, I mean, that's what family does. You
But
have the good
we never.
and
I do my own thing. I don't ask them for favors or anything, and
right.
they from me. But it's funny.
Derek said no tour management. He was the roadie for about 3 years. So he was one of the roadies for about 3 years.
For Corn,
Yes,
or just which band?
for Corn.
Oh, very cool.
And
Or
he
should I say,
now has well, he now is Paul Crosby's partner, and they have 434 Management and Pet Groove Records, and really cool cats, really cool.
oh yeah, let's talk later after the show.
I
What was
will.
you asked me about another band? What was the other one?
Let's see. Uh,
Oh, Linkin
Slash,
Park.
Lincoln
Lincoln.
Park. Yeah,
Ah, cool. We when you're younger, you well, a lot of people in LA, it's expensive to live here. We have a lot of side hustles, and I got into film from doing production, but also with music too. I would do side hustle production, and I ended up working with Lincoln Park when they first came out, and had no idea who these guys were. I remember going to a Kmart parking lot, and they were doing this Kmart tour, and it was just some weird band named Lincoln Park, and I got there early, and somehow I saw the set list, and I'm like, these songs look stupid. But then we sound check, and I was like really blown away how groove and precision the drums were and the guitar, and then uh, Brad, the guitar player, played a 7 string. This is pivotal in my life that I was standing behind him when he was playing. I'm like, my God, what is that sound? We became friends, and I noticed he had a 7 string, and we hung out that day because we sound check. We go backstage and hang out. I'm like,
right,
yo, what's with 7 string? Is it it's hard to adjust? And he goes, no, man, it's easy. And I love the sound so much. It's a very dark, heavy, deep, full sound. I like full bassy sounds. And
right,
the next day I bought one, and that changed the sound of Trouble in Heaven. That's when, because I had to deal with A&M Records that never really went anywhere. But then when I got the 7 string and started writing that whole new vibe, it changed everything for my vocals. I'm a sort of a lower tenor voice. So the lower the guitar can go, the better my voice sounds. It just sort of matches up better. We tried to do some stuff with Interscope and stuff, but that's when everything really changed for me. And uh, past the years by, or moving forward years, I just decided to pretty much own everything because I like the freedom of not, being able to do what I want to do. It's not always the best idea, but you're on your own if you do it your way. And I signed a deal with Amazon Prime and put the movie out. And really, the idea was to get a record out and in a big way. I just didn't want to be the sheep following everyone else with the CD and not. So if you don't have resources or management, fuck it, do a movie. So that's what I did. It's not easy, but it was a different thing. And uh, I, I, I'm not even worried about someone because it's not easy to do. Something, you have to have some camera and production to do it. So, yeah, Lincoln Park, Brad really changed my mindset and stuff, and I've sort of found a home. So the subculture of new metal, it's pretty small. There's not a lot of bands that do it, and none of them haven't survived. Now, the music scene in LA is pretty funny. It's like the neighborhoods. Well, this neighborhood, you've got the 80 long-haired classic rockers. That's all they do. They're not always welcoming to a new metal guy, even though I come from that classic rock stuff. It's just not my thing. The hair
Right.
band, Poison and stuff was just never my thing. I was more of a Led Zeppelin, Duran Duran, British movements, anyone who was new and just staying. But of course, I loved Jeff Beck and I loved Van Halen because Van Halen was classically structured, great songs, great playing. Even though a lot of people don't know, the band Stormer influenced Eddie a lot. A lot of people influenced Eddie, but Van Halen put the songs together, the show together. Roth, they put a really good package together, and they just squeezed by because in that time before they came out, that was a new wave scene. It was all new. Everyone jumps on the bandwagon here.
Well, yeah,
But
I was watching um when we talked earlier, you had mentioned Slash. What was really cool is right after I watched Cherry Future, I watched a documentary about Slash. And he was talking about that very same thing, how, you have everybody's like, you got your hair bands, you got your metal bands, you got your grunge bands. And he was talking about, he just wanted to rock, and he he loved everybody and just wanted to just rock.
it's funny. Slash and Head are good friends. That's a couple right there. We we
We've got
talk about
some.
like do you guys fucking know each other, and here I am in the middle of that, and tell Slash he left a banana at my house, just like stupid guy stuff.
Right, right.
Harry,
Uh,
we're really here.
we got some questions here. Rob said, the neighborhood. Have you ever worked with Limp Bizkit? And also, what kind of wine are you sipping?
Oh wow, this is I don't know if you can see it, Merkin. This is from Maynard from Tool, his winery up in Jerome, Arizona, and we went and visited his bar, and we, he wasn't around. I've never met Maynard, but they're an LA band, and it's a red wine, and it's really good. I gotta say, I don't drink a lot, but this is a good wine. The Limp Bizkit guys, I've seen Fred around, but I don't really know those guys. But it's weird they're from Florida and that they're part of that subculture new metal, and they were like, to me, Rage Against the Machine was the first alternative rap band that was sort of a new genre.
Right.
And then Biscuit, even though people think Limp Bizkit was pretty sophisticated and still are.
So, let's get into I know it's, everybody sees like the movies and, once they see the finished product and all that, and it's just freaking killer. Like I said, go check out Cherry in Heaven or Cherry Future, because I could sit there and watch that every day. I mean, it's my game. I like it. It's about music and it tells a story. But what people don't know, and you and I talked about this, is when it comes to putting these movies together and stuff like that, all the behind the scenes stuff that you have to go through to make it work. It is not easy. I mean, I know you probably had to go through all kinds of stuff to make that movie possible. Can you give us a little insight of, you know, how hard it is for, directors and bands trying to do this behind the scenes?
Okay, so my hustle to pay bills was a recording studio when I first moved to LA. I did recording sessions, So, and like for a good 8 years, it was strong. Like I had freaking Ernie Isley come into my studio. Like, so I had this little West Hollywood studio. The bottom fell out of the music business, and I had signed a deal with A&M Records. So we did 2 records that did nothing. But the bottom had fell out of the music business around mid '90s, as far as CDs, and Napster really fucked up everything. Fuck that guy. People don't want to pay for music anymore. That's where everything went to shit. So where do you get the revenue from? Live shows and T-shirts now. So I had the studio that was barely making any money anymore, and I had a friend, Chris Lennon, who got me into film, and we were talking one day, and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm shooting a video with Carlos Santana and Rob, that Smooth video. Why don't you roll by and have lunch?" I'm like, "Okay." Freaking next thing you know, he's doing Pro Tools. I already knew Pro Tools from having a studio, and he goes, "Hey, run this a sec. I gotta go to the bathroom, and then I gotta go to Crafty. Can you run this shit?" I go, "Yeah." It's really easy, just play the chorus. You're just doing playback.
Right.
So playback, and Carlos comes over and just very suspicious of this new guy who may steal a song, but he liked me. I met Carlos Santana that day, and next thing you know, people are asking me, "Hey, are you available to do production for these music videos?" So I had already had years of session work, engineering, couple records, under my belt. And I never left that. What people don't know about me, I never left the studio thing. I just closed my home studio, and I just started doing production with commercials, music videos, small movies. And that gave me the idea, like, well, some of these guys are like clueless. How are they directing? And most of them are really good. They're really smart people. And the producers are some of the calmest people, well, both neurotic and calm, who would just skate through the most crazy productions and stuff. And you learn, you take in, and say, well, I want to be like that guy. He handled that really calmly. I worked with Jesse Terrero a lot. He directed that Soul Plane, and we did like a lot of hip hop and R&B and Whistle and Yell videos and stuff. And we became friends. He gave me his number and stuff. And I started to venture off and started my own company, Royal Rock Films, doing music videos. And it was really, after being in LA for 20 some years, you start to, people. And I did a free video for Melissa Manchester to get started, because that was a big name. I'd already had a relationship with her, and we did something. She liked it. And nothing ever happened. A couple of years later, the manager called me and said, "Hey, Melissa wants you to direct her new video for this new album coming out, The Fellas." Or it was something else before that. And how much are you? And you have to do a proposal and submit it and stuff. And they said yes, and I did that. So you start to up your game. You start to get clients, and they build upon. Well, he did Autograph, he did Angel, whoever. He
Right.
worked with like the Gaga thing was. I started to get these young girl artists because they thought I had some magical thing with Gaga, and it was just luck. So, where the fuck am I? What are we talking about? I'm lost track.
Joe Davis says, "Hi, Paul."
There's
And we
Joe.
were talking about, how hard it is to, you know, to do, these movies, like, what you
Right.
have to go through, you know.
Yeah. The other thing is that what's key is you definitely know how to speak that language and be nice and respectful and get people to do stuff. And there were so many times Michelle was going to do the Cherry Future and then said, "Hey, my agent says I can't do this. This movie's not big enough." And then a month later, I said, you can't bail on me now. And then come back and say, yeah, I fired that agent. Fuck it, I'm going to do Cherry Future. This is a good. I go, yeah, it's a good movie for you, and it turned out being good. But so doing a movie, it definitely, and I get messages weekly like, how do you do it? And I want to do seminars and help people, but also don't want to do it for. I don't really want to do it for free. Like it takes money to do a movie and
Well,
brains,
no,
and
yeah, you've got to
it you
invest
feel
so
gonna
much.
you're gonna have heartbreak at some point of someone's gonna yell or something bad's gonna happen, or you get a venue for the big shoot, and all of a sudden your connection got fired, and you're back to square one. So the big finale scene in Cherry took almost a year to get a venue to let us, because we didn't have much money, to let us come in and shoot this epic scene in a theater. So uh, the hardest part is, I would say, the money and waiting for this person, and having the script. You basically have something on paper. You have to have a vision of how this thing's gonna come out. And people, it's so easy to see a movie when it's done and criticize it. Well, go ahead and try and do a movie that's a piece of paper and shoot that scene. Good luck. And so you have to have a the whole thing as a whole. That's what's hard about it. And then when the movie's done, okay, now do we do film festivals? What do you do for distribution? And then what people don't realize is you need airs and admission insurance, which could be a 25,000 deductible, and they'll treat you like a lot of it's a business. I understand it's a business, but there's a lot of bloodsuckers out there. They look at you as money. They don't really give a shit about you're trying to do something for music. And I was really inspired by the Rocky movies and Purple Rain,
Right,
because I'm an art guy. I'm not an accountant type of guy, so that's probably the hardest part is juggling the money and stuff.
right. Well, see, that's kind of what I, gathered from your movie. I mean, to me, uh, I was reading the reviews and stuff, and some people were like, this is the rock version of Purple Rain. And when I went to watch it, it was, it was like he's telling a story about, the journey and the stuff going on behind the scenes. And I was just like sitting back, just like digging it. I mean, I was really digging it. And I
Because you understand.
huh?
It's probably more because you understand the business a little bit, like, because those scenes were us playing the Cat Club and having Jimmy Fallon there, and then happening. Harris came up and said, "Hey, Jimmy wants to meet you," and I met Jimmy, and I'm like, "Who?" You never know who people are. I was nice, but I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And Jimmy's like, "Hey, you guys are really good, man." He just like wouldn't let me go, and it was like, let me buy you a drink. I'm like, okay. And I just walked away. It was like, I don't know who this guy is. But when I walked away, everyone was doing photos with him. I'm like, oh shit, who is that guy? And I looked him up. I'm like, yeah,
You're
poor
like, "Let
cowbell
look this up real quick." Yeah.
that are. And then I realized, fuck, that guy's really talented. Why did he tell me that? But it gave me more gasoline to keep going, because it's not hard to keep carrying on with getting nowhere. You're gonna hit a lot of walls.
Yeah. Well, and people seeing, the hard work that you're doing and coming up to you and saying, "Hey, man, you're kicking ass." I mean, for anybody that's in the movie, the music, you know, the promotion business, that that's awesome because no one sees the hours and the hard work and all the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to make that happen. They just see the finished product. So for someone to come up and be like, "Hey, dude, you fucking rock," and then you find out who it is, and you're like, "Holy shit!" I mean, that had to be very humbling.
You know what's funny? people are shocked about their lifestyle with the pandemic. I'm used to that crazy. Like, where's the next check going to come from? Who's going to come after me now for this bill or whatever? And the uncertainty not having work. I've lived like that for a lot of years. So it was really gratifying to do the premiere and have, like, you know, Jamie was there for Black and Blue and came up to me and says, fucking dude, like, I got his respect from a movie. However, it was real band. But that, you know, in life, you need to find stuff that makes you happy. And it's not always money. It's maybe being productive and doing something. Like, you have a show like that. And you have
Yeah.
you got the fire and a good show. And it's gratifying you doing that. You're a cancer survivor. That makes you happy, right? So people
Yes.
maybe
Getting
should seek out being happy. Not always a big house.
exactly.
Kind of.
Exactly. And, I've had a lot of people tell me, um, because they will see me, even when I'm putting on shows and stuff, or when I'm promoting bands or doing this show, they're like, "Man, you got to be making a killing." I'm like, "Dude, no, my sponsors, it just covers the cost of my platform. I'm doing it because it's what I love. Music is what I love, and I love bringing the fans together with people in the industry that are doing amazing things, and putting faces to names and letting them get a chance to actually know the person, and actually get to know that person, because they can see all the glitz and glamour, but in the end of the day, it's about being happy with what you're doing and enjoying it, and and spreading joy to everyone. And that's what's gratifying to me. And that's why I continue doing what I'm doing.
Mother Mary, speak to me. I get my girl Valerie got me this Laker jersey,
Heck
Kobe
yeah.
number. Never wear a sports jersey because people are so fucking serious about sport. You know, I like jerseys, but I don't like sports. Where people come up and say, "Oh, that team sucks," I'm like, "Suck it, dude. I'm in music and film. I don't care about." But who's gonna mess with Kobe's? No one's gonna say shit. So this is the official jersey Val got me. I just need to give a shout out to that.
Well, that's
And
awesome. That's awesome. I
yeah,
love that damn guitar. I love that damn guitar, man. I've always wanted to learn how to play guitar, but I've
can you?
never.
We are a real band.
Yes, they are a real band. I mean, I've got people asking that just came on, which once I get done interviewing him, I will play the full video for that song, guys. But I wanted y'all to get to know Paul Gervasi, the person. Um, so Paul, I'm looking at my notes here. So you said that you would like to also talk about, the LA community and stuff. So, I see the pictures from your ranch and stuff. I don't, and I have never had the chance to come to LA, which Michelle said next time they go, she wants me to fly down with her. So
Oh, great. Yeah.
tell us about, you know, the music community, and, that down there in LA. How are y'all holding up during this pandemic?
Um, well, everyone's doing the live streaming shows. There's Julian K doing her live stream. Adema did a live stream. Um, God, how do I tell the The music scene here is see it's sort of diminishing because House of Blues got bought up and there's been a shift as far as real estate. So I mean, this happens, where LA's becoming like a Manhattan where things are getting expensive. So you're not going to have as many artists coming and couch surfing, which gives you time to be creative, like the old days on Laurel Canyon, where an artist could just, get by in a few bucks and crash on someone's couch. Next thing you know, they're freaking Crosby, Stills, Nash, or the Mamas and the Papas. That
Right.
stuff doesn't happen anymore. It'll be like one guy on a computer, like me, or there's pockets. There's Nuno Betancourt and Steve Falazio that they have their little jam at Lucky Strike, and then there's Chuck Wright. It has his jam at the Whiskey. Those are like classic rockers mostly, and a few guest people, but it's very clicky. Um, I'm part of it a little bit, but people get me confused with like, oh, he's a director producer, which fucking is annoying. Like, fuck you, I didn't move to LA to be
You're
a
a
producer.
person. You
I did
you're
not
a
LA to
being.
be like, oh, I want to be a producer. Like, producer just gives me control of doing what I want and not having to be at the I sort of got tired of being, and I'm not knocking this, at the mercy of a casting agent or whatever. I'm just like, it's like, hold my beer. I'm going to do it this way, and you'll see when it's done. And you got to lift your balls up and see it through. Um, if you're going to get any kind of respect, and it may take 5 years to bang out one movie. So back to the music scene. It's expensive. The venues and their uh, they gotta pay their rent, pay their bills. An act
Right.
needs to bring in. There's no chance to develop anymore. They want pre-sold tickets. So everything's kind of like paid for before it even happens because they can't take a loss. In their defense, they have to run a business too, and it's fucking expensive. It's expensive to run the Whiskey and the Roxy's and the Troubadours and the Lucky Strike. But Lucky Strike is smart because they have a bowling alley and food, a bar. There's not just dependent on the local band coming in. My way I would do it is what I'm going to do at the ranches at Rancho La Rock. We'll have um, there'll be no tribute bands at all. It'll be all original, or well, the people I know, there'll be guests there to come there and do whatever the fuck they want. Um, have to build a reputation, which the ranch has already built a reputation just for freaking having the sign. And people go by there and do a photo just with Rancho La Rock behind them. But that's, I know how. I'm building a brand, and I kind of know how to do it.
Yeah,
Um,
you definitely are kicking ass and taking names, brother. And you
well,
know,
thank
I was, because I do my research, when Michelle she said, "Hey, you know, I've got a friend of ours that you really need to interview. He's a really cool cat, and I think you guys would really just get along great." And so I started researching, and then when you and I talked earlier during sound check, when we were talking and talking about different things, I realized that we have a lot of the same mindset. Um, like you, I've I've got to have, I've got this dream and it's in my head. I'm gonna make it happen. And and I'm gonna give it my all, and 120,000%. But all I can say is it is an absolute honor to be sitting here talking to you right now. It's not because you're a producer, it's not because you're a musician, not because you're an actor. Just that little bit of time that we talked earlier. It's because you're one cool ass motherfucker as a person.
this is the best interview I've ever done in my life.
I mean, dude, I'm just being I mean, I'm a true I mean, I'll be straight up honest with you. it when we were sitting here talking, I swear to God, it felt like I've known you forever. I mean, we were just sitting here talking back and forth, and I felt like I was talking to my brother from another mother that I hang out with every day. I mean,
Isn't it
you
weird?
are,
It's like, right away, and other people not so much. You just never know.
yeah.
You know who? Okay, ask me this. Hey, Paul.
Do what, hun?
Ask me this. Hey, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Who's the coolest, successful rock stars you ever met?
Oh God, who's the coolest successful rock stars you ever met?
Oh, I can't talk about that. Uh,
I fucking love it.
so I got a deal at A&M Records, and I'm at the studio, and you learn these little LA things. When you're in a special area, don't do photos, don't bother people. Well, fucking, I don't follow any fucking rules. Bruce Spring hallway reading a local, what was the name of the magazine? Some local magazine, and he's very shy, and no one's talking to him. He thinks something's wrong with him because no one's talking to him. I'm like, fuck that, I'll rock this. So I go up. I'm like, what up, boss? He goes, oh hey man, I'm looking for uh, who did Runaway Train, that band? Remember that band, Runaway Train? Dave, the singer. He goes, I'm looking for Dave. I'm like, and I knew they were in Studio B. I go, oh yeah, come on, they're in Studio B. And he goes, oh yeah, okay. So I know the deal. No one's gonna stop if I'm with the boss. No
Right?
one will stop. So I go in there, and it's I know the name will come to me afterwards.
Well, thank you,
We walk in
Rooster.
the studio.
Rooster just said, Mary, you kick ass too. He's one of
So
my biggest supporters.
Bruce is really shy and really nice, and he's like really not happy because thanks for walking me in here. And I walk in, and they start talking, and I just kind of like, they were hugging and kissing. I just like kind of exit. So that was one really cool experience. And I thought, fucking Bruce is cool. I'm glad I did that because people, you're not supposed to, but people, I don't work there. I'm an artist. I could go say hi to them. I don't give a fuck. Like, see me. Um,
Well, I
and
mean,
then there
that's
was
like,
another time.
I'll just walk up to somebody and I would just be like, hey, dude, what's up? Because
I
they're just,
first hustle in LA for an extra buck. I do extra work, and when you do extra, if you're smart, you would absorb the whole production line from the AD to the lighting guy to the runners to the director to the producers. I absorbed all that stuff, and I'm working with. I was on ER with George Clooney, and before I got to set, it was really pricky. Everyone was uptight and no, don't sit there, and like really bitchy, and I'm like,
oh,
yeah, this is gonna be a
I got to have
freaking
great
fun day.
woman hills and shit.
I'm thinking it's gonna be a sucky day. Yeah, living the fucking dream. And then George rolls in, high fives me, and we just hit it off like you and I. Next thing you know, we're taking a break. George says, hey, Paulie, let's go play some basketball. We go outside and we're playing basketball outside. I think we are at Warner Brothers. That's where they filmed ER, right? So there was a basketball court outside the studio, and George and I are playing. And George is like Keanu Reeves. They're like chick magnets. And all these girls were saying, hey, I want to meet George. Can you meet him? Hey, George, this bitch wants to say hi to you. Like, oh, hi. And, George was nice. And then somehow we were playing. George disappeared. And then I see him. He's just like me. He's like crazy. He's in a lowrider cruising up and down the alleys at Warner Brothers. And the girl's standing there with me. And like, sorry, my battery's going. And it was just a funny moment that I thought he was so cool. I thought, oh man, really cool. So George and I hit it off.
Well, that's
There
awesome.
was the other person. Well, obviously, I'm good with Jeff Tate. We're pretty, but we crack a lot of really nasty jokes on the backs of other people.
Well, that's kind of the first time when I went and officially met in person, Derek and Paul, 434 met, and talked on the phone and video chat and all this. And, we were all just like family. But the first time I went and, met up with them to talk business in person, they were taking us, me and my husband, to which we were in Louisiana, and they were taking us to go get some authentic food. And Paul had sent me a text message, and I learned right then, do not open a text message from Paul Crosby if you are with someone that can get offended real fast, because it was nothing. There was flooding going on in Texas, and he was from Texas, and I was like, oh my god, because it was about the houses getting washed away. I opened it, and it just had this. It's just snowing. And I'm like, "Oh my god." And my husband's like, "What the hell was that?" I was like, "Fucking Paul Crosby, man, just being goofy," So I've learned to not open text messages from him when you're next to somebody that gets offended real easy.
Right?
It's just goofy shit like that. I mean, it just shows you that it doesn't matter what that person has done in their life. They are just like you. They put their pants on one leg at a time, and they are a human being. And man, just treat them like a normal human being,
Right, right.
because you're gonna miss out on some really awesome motherfucking people if you don't.
This is true. Yeah. I hope I don't
Like,
lose my bat like dying.
is your phone going dead?
No, it's getting close, but I'm trying to run a charger right now. Yeah, I think it's
Rob
working. We're
Rob Jordan has a question. He says, "What are your plans and what is your direction you're moving in for this summer?"
what's the question?
What are your plans and what direction are you moving in for this summer? Do
Oh,
you have
yeah. We've been in negotiation for I've been in negotiation for 5 months for the new Charvel movie, which it goes. I can talk about it a little bit. I've got like 3 offers. I have to go over these thick contracts and try and pick a company. And when you get offers like that, you go to other companies. You wait for the offer that feels like home, and it feels like the one who's going to take care of the film the best and the best exposure. So that, again, people don't know that shit takes like 5 months right there.
exactly?
So pandemic, I've been super busy. I have the ranch where I throw on a cowboy hat and I pretend I don't speak English because people will come by and like they say, "No, my truck got stuck." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not AAA," or I just no. But I'm out there with a cowboy hat and doing laboring, and I lost a fingernail. It was pretty funny. It's funny. I lost my fingernail. I told Val like, "Fuck, I'm a real cowboy now. I lost a fingernail," and then and no, stick with me. It gets better. We went to the local little watering hole near the desert, and there was some drunk, laboring, I don't know, construction guys in there, and they kept just like saying shit to Val and I. And finally, they walked over and says, "Hey, man, you're cool. Can we buy you a drink?" I go, "Yeah, sure." So we had some drinks, and then I said, "Look, man, I lost my nail today. It's that one right there. It's almost growing back. In July, I lost that nail." And they were like, all 3 of them put their hand in, and they all had lost nails too. So we like had this little bonding moment. My
Right.
point is, you need that. I need that balance from the LA pricks and just a tough dog eat dog on the computer, like this contract and how much money you got, and trying to always figure out the money budgets. And what's the best deal and who's trying to like just scam you for money, so to
Right.
have um I don't call it normal people. It's just different, laboring with a cowboy hat on and losing a fingernail and working out in the desert was been a really send for me, having something to do other than being in the studio by myself or writing and you know just
Yeah,
struggling monthly, figuring how we're going to get through this bullshit.
it's
And
like
then you know and then
that's
we
your
have a governor who I understand everyone's got a little side hustle and wants to be a millionaire, but if you're diverting millions and you treat people like shit, you're going to get caught, and no one's going to stand for that. So we have problems here in California with this governor and stuff, and telling people to do stuff, shutting down. I don't want to get into the politics of it, but the hypocrisy going on with what businesses can survive and who can't. It's like it's the same as a movie and music business. Like some people can get away with stuff, and some it's like how much you got, how much money you got, who do you know? It's the same deal. That's life. That is life. It's not
right.
fair.
No, no, it's not. No, it's not. Um,
Oh, who
a
do
roo
we have here? Who's
rooster says, if you're ever looking for actors, I'm a pretty funny ass fucking dude.
who?
That was Rooster Jordan.
Okay.
Rooster,
I
you have
everyone.
to go. He'll have to tell you, because you got people coming out. We talked about this earlier. You'll have people coming out of the woodwork, but if you are serious about being an actor, go sign up for IMBD and get
I,
set up and get your numbers, and then go from there. Right,
yeah,
brother?
it's getting a little political in these next films, like to where yeah, you got to bring something to the table, not just acting skills. You have to be an IMDb number one, have some acting training, and have some training behind your belt, because a lot of the people I used in Cherry were just new actors, and it takes more time and it's a lot more difficult, and you always get what you want. So it's a little different. And then when the movie comes out, everyone needs to be on IMDb, because when my movie comes out and they look you up, Rooster, and you're not on there, they're gonna like, who is Rooster? And so they want to know who you are, what have you done? Because nowadays they can research the whole movie and see who's in it, and people want to know who's who in a movie.
Yeah, they've got to know who's connected to that project and blah blah blah. Um, Joe Davis says,
Who's
"How long did it take to make Cherry Future?"
That was a 3-year process, because we had lost a couple scenes, the grand finale, because my connection got fired and we had to reorganize and a couple times we lost a scene. And then the big one was getting a venue for the grand finale scene was really hard to do, because there was no one really in the audience. We had fake um, mannequins in the audience mixed with real people, and it was supposed to look like 10,000 people. So it's really hard to do. I imagine it's even harder now with COVID. Um,
It looked
the
like a packed house to
were
me.
all
Looked like you did a damn good job.
what's funny, I mean, I'm a biker. I'm more of a motocross guy, but
I was fixing to ask you about that bike scene
I,
because
I
me and my
get
husband.
I get invited. Gilby and those guys invite me, and Sean McNabb might invite me to go riding with them all the time. I don't have a bike right now. Those were all rental bikes, and people will hit me up and invite me to go riding all the time. I'm like, on my mountain bike. So it's all the bikes. I think I used 4 bikes. Were mostly rental friends' bikes, because if you notice in the film, I'm on 4 different bikes, and that kind of sucked not being consistent with the bikes. Like, why is he on this bike? But
Right.
it works. It worked in the film.
Joe Davis said it was a great scene. So
Oh,
evidently he's watched the movie. He said it was a
I
great scene.
yeah, it's only been out 2 years on Amazon Prime, but it was 3 years in the making. Another year of film festivals, getting jerked around, and finally I made the deal myself with Amazon.
And Rob said, "Yep, it is a pretty much cutthroat business nowadays."
But isn't every business?
Yep. Yes, it is. Amen, brother. Let's drink to that.
Oh my God! I had to move. I had to charge my. I'm going to grab my wine.
All right, Bubba, you go get your wine.
Uh, okay, where were we? Oh, what didn't we cover?
Well, let's see here. We covered Bridget. We covered the bike scene. Let's see here.
Didn't you want to know about Eddie V?
Oh yeah, yes. Tell me about Eddie V, baby.
Um, it's funny because I told Mike, "Hey, I saw you at the whiskey," and he goes, "Oh yeah, 2004." And I go, "No, before the first record came out." And he was like, Mike couldn't wrap his head around it. Was it like, what were you, fucking embryo? Like, anyways, I saw Van Halen at the whiskey before the first record came out, and was uh, I've witnessed this a couple times in my life with I saw a band or an artist, and I'm like, they're going to be huge. I don't know what's going on, but this is going to be huge. It's happened to me a couple times in my life where I've witnessed that. So when Sammy Hagar joined Van Halen, I was at NAM, this punk kid, and you could go up in those days. Eddie was with Kramer, I think, signing photos, and I went up and said hi. He signed a photo for me, and we talked, and we had mutual friends. And I'm a Southern California. You cross paths with everybody,
Right.
poor, rich, um, prostitutes, politicians, George Lopez. I mean, you cross
They're all
paths with
there.
everybody because it's Southern California. It's crowded, and there's lots of. It's a small. Everyone talks, and if you're making a noise, you're going to cross paths with some. So I crossed paths with him several times, and a couple times someone told me that Ed knows about you, and I'm like, he doesn't know about me. Anyways, I meet him at NAM, and it was really pleasant. Later that night, he was in a different. He's not a good drinker. He was pretty. He was a mean drunk when he got drunk. So we had like a little almost a fight one night. Um, but most of the times meeting with Ed, it was pretty pleasant. He was a quiet, shy guy, very humble guy. Um, Recently, so that's kind of my Ed story. And I met Sammy. That I crossed paths with Sammy a couple. Sammy's from Fontana, California, Northern California. Crossed paths with him a few times. Um, Recently, with the Charbel movie, I was talking to Matt Bruck, his guitar is like assistant guy, and we came close to doing an interview. And I'm like, and I couldn't get. I knew if I could get Ed on the phone, he would have done it. He doesn't do interviews, but he
Right.
got time. So he turned it down in an email. So when he passed recently, if you're a Californian and you grew up with the soundtrack of Van Halen, it was pretty devastating. It's like not what you think. You're like losing part of something. I mean, talked to some grown men, friends of mine, successful guys, and were crying on the phone to me like, I can't believe it. We're losing our childhood. What the fuck, Paulie? Um, so that was kind of weird that he had almost did the movie and then this happened. We knew something. I thought he lasted longer than we thought it was going to be, but when
Right.
it does happen, it's devastating. Yeah.
Well, that's like here locally, and she was just a small local promoter, but we we just lost a local small promoter that she was just getting started real good, and one day she was fine, and the next day we get a message that she passed, and we're like, she wasn't sick, nothing. Well, she come to find out she was working that whole time. She was the one then that you and I talked about that just kept pushing forward no matter what was going on. Come to find out she was like me, working with she was working with heart failure and her heart just gave out. And so we had a moment like that locally here. And if any of her family is watching, Lindsay Cunningham's family, God bless you. We love you and lots of prayers to you during this time. So, but you never know. Tomorrow's never promised. So that's why I totally agree with you, brother. You've got to find the joy and happiness in everything that you do.
Yeah, I was in the hospital overnight for something, a procedure. Um, it changed my freaking perspective. Just taking one day at a time, and nothing's promised. We are losing a lot of people. Um, and what a heavy year, but we're still here, and that's just part of life. And I want to say accept it. And yeah, it's not easy, but that's just a part of life. All we can think is when you pass, it's utopia. So,
Exactly.
and the
Well,
other thing that helps me get through these times is thinking about my dad in World War II. You know, doing missions over Nazi occupied territories. I mean, they were living on bread and coffee and
exact,
cigars. So
exact,
quit fucking complaining. I tell myself that
right?
I could hear. You can imagine just research, the Holocaust and stuff, and it's those people endured a lot more than we have right now.
So in other words, people, we will get through this and be blessed for what you do, God. Right, brother?
Yeah, just try and do shit that don't do shit that makes you unhappy. Don't do it. If you got a job that sucks and you got the mortgage, change that shit up because tomorrow's not promised.
Right,
I think we're
right.
here in life just to learn. It's actually really small. There's probably a bigger picture. What do I know though, right?
Ashley said, "Hi, sis. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing?" Ashley is Derek's, the one that I introduced you to earlier that wants to talk to you, Paul's partner. Ashley is his wife. She's watching. She says, "Hey."
Hey
S-
Ash, thanks for watching. Can you
so,
see how many are watching right now?
oh my goodness. I've lost count, brother. It's I've lost count. I won't be able to see who all was actually because I'm not seeing everybody. So from what I'm seeing
Oh
in
god.
here, got a pretty nice ass little crowd going on.
Would you say I have a nice ass? Well, thank you.
I didn't say I didn't say that, you crazy
Do
nut.
run. Uh, keep that shit tight.
Oh my gosh. Rob give you this on that. He give us a love on that. Rooster said, "Do you know Dana Moon? She does stand up and acting."
Uh, I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. Not sure.
And Ashley just got a kick out of what you and I said. She's laughing her ass off over here.
Make people.
Oh gosh. So besides he said let's see, okay. He said Dana Moon is out of USC.
Okay.
Okay. Joe says, "I hope these are rebroadcasted for this."
Yeah.
When we get done, you will have a link and you can go watch the whole thing from the beginning. It will be on YouTube, it'll be on Mama Mary's page, and I will also send him a YouTube link so he can direct his people that want to rewatch it. So yes, you will be able to rewatch the whole thing. So Bubba, is there anything that you would like to say to all these people watching that are becoming amazing fans as we speak?
Yeah, I did. I just thank you for watching. I mean, I don't think of myself of much, but there, I'm here to entertain people. If anything, I may even do a cooking show that has somehow become popular. Um, yeah, it's an honor. Thanks to everyone watching and watch my movies. There's definitely shit here I can't talk about yet because it's. I mean, who wants to hear about a surprise? I'd rather drop something a week before. The Charvel movie is coming soon. Um, uh, I'm working
On
on a new Trouble in Heaven.
on the bottom, guys, his YouTube link is strolling, so go check that out. Also, check out and go like, love, and share Cherry Future on Facebook. And here is the Amazon Prime link. Go buy that shit. Go watch it. And first and foremost, go get you some Trouble in motherfucking Heaven music because it is bad to the bone. And there is the Facebook link for Trouble in Heaven. Go to Amazon, buy that shit.
Yeah, the digital downloads. There's two records out there now, and we had to fight to trademark the name. So um, we do own the name now, and as far as I know, in the United States, worldwide, I don't know what the deal is, but the movie's in 70 countries. So occasionally, I'll be walking through a mall or something, and someone will recite a line from Cherry Future, and that's when you make it. When people do that bullshit, people go,
Well, like I said, after our interview, I'm gonna play the full, unless you got time, we'll play the full music video of Trouble in Heaven, and that way they can see it.
what do
Let's
you want?
see,
You gonna play Dark Skin Girl? What are you gonna play?
which one do you want me to play?
I mean, I think I only allowed two out there: Dark Skin Girl and Day to Remember, which you already played. You can roll Dark Skin Girl and ask me questions. I like questions because we like
Okay.
listening, especially when we drink wine. We like
Yeah.
uh, talking.
Hell yeah. Hang on. Dark skin.
By the way, my Disturb brothers, we drink a lot of wine.
All right. Let's see. Let me get this set back up.
What are we
And
doing? Dark Skin Girl?
yeah. So I'm going to be giving y'all a little bit. Let me.
There's such a funny story behind it.
You could tell I've been watching it because it was already halfway gone. So,
Talking me, Mary.
oh yeah, I've been watching and listening to this shit. I love it. All right,
Okay.
guys. So we're gonna turn this about midway, so me and you can talk. And this is Trouble in Heaven, Dark Skin Girl. And this is from Rock Royal Films. From Cherry Future. My brother from another mother, right here. Mr. Paul. There's that shake.
Yeah, Schechter, baby.
Oh, yeah. So you mean to tell me, even though this looks like a packed house, that was not a packed house?
One more.
We'll talk about it after this. The crowd, you said that
But
you. Yeah.
She cries untidy.
That bass is kicking.
We die.
rock,
Grind is exciting. I drink from her fountain again. Dark skin girl, dark skin girl, dark skin girl, dark skin. Our desert, spring out oasis. We all taste it, we'll waste it.
What? I can't hear you. You guys are so loud.
These guys
No,
are
it's not
so
nice.
loud.
You take pleasures in things I don't want to do.
Dude, I just love your sound. I'm serious.
You think you're special, you're something the stars have made. You think you're something the stars have made.
I'm going to pause it and ask you. So you said when you were shooting Cherry Future, and this is a scene from Cherry Future,
yeah.
y- that was not a packed house. How in the hell did you do that? Because that looked like a packed motherfucking house to me.
Well, saying this is a little club called Happy's in Chino, which at this point the Cat Club had already closed, so we couldn't film there, which we could have, but it was already closed. It's something else now. It's an Irish pub. Um, we're in Chino, and that's a real crowd. This is one of the smaller. The whole movie's based upon playing the little Cat Club. That's really what
Right.
the whole movie is on. So those are real people there, and actually, I think the Mongrels showed up, a biker club, at some
Oh,
point, and
that's it.
that
That's
was,
cool.
and then that was a good scene because the owner, Mike, came up to me, Mike Rodriguez, the owner of the club at that time, said, "Hey, man, fucking bars kicking ass. People are drinking." I'm like, "Yeah, it's my crew." So real, as people were drinking and having fun, and that was a Sunday afternoon. We shot 2 days at Happy's, and it was 4 songs in 2 days, which is supposed to be 4 different nights. So we had to
Right.
break it up, changing clothes a little bit and changing the songs. But the movie was, if you really follow the movie, the lyrics go into scene by scene what's happening between Paul and Bridget and life stuff and maybe stuff that everyone can relate with. So
Exactly.
there's throughout the whole movie, but those were shot in 2 days, 4 songs.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, we're going to give 'em a little more taste of this. Now, I'm going to ask you the question because I watched the movie Cherry Future and I remember the part, and y'all got to go watch this movie when the guy was like, "What's up with this DJ? Why is there always a DJ?" Remember that line?
Yeah, crap, that really happened. Well, shit happens with bands. One member
Yeah,
doesn't like another
it's
member.
really fucking cool what he's doing. I mean, he's kicking ass. But I just was letting you know I actually did watch your movie. So I was proving I know the lines by heart.
could have told me that off camera.
I know. I just being silly.
That-
Why do you think they're called Trouble in Heaven? Whatever. Okay, thank you, whore.
Ooh.
Oh man, these songs are sick.
You were throwing down pretty good yourself there, Dino.
So, am I in?
You want this pretty bad, don't you?
You know how much trouble we can get into?
I gotta go see Bridget.
So, am I in?
So am I.
Hey, am I in? Dino's in this motherfucker.
I love it. So am I in? Am I in?
you get it that the comedy is sort of like Lethal Weapon. I mean, I didn't want to make a comedy, but we can't help ourselves. We have to be stupid.
You gotta have a
So-
moment every now and then. That was cool. That was cool.
We tried
Well,
to kind of, yeah. It's funny. Musicians are some of the smartest, funniest people I know. I mean, think about it. Musicians really don't have a 9-to-5 job, so they're smart enough to get out of work to do stuff that's fun and get paid for it. That's a smart person. And a lot of these really, it's like the jazz guys are super funny, like the most crude sexual jokes you've ever, like you would get arrested for are funny people. But we tried to put that into Cherri a little bit.
That was awesome. So that was Dark Skin Girl, and that was My Trouble in Heaven. So you got to go look it up. And again, you've got to go get Cherry Future and go, just go to Prime, type in Paul Traversy, and pull up Cherry Future. Anything that my brother's involved in, go buy that shit, go love that shit, go share that shit, and just show him the love that he deserves. That's what I'm telling my people to do.
But don't shit on that shit.
But don't shit on that shit because I will fuck you up. No.
Hey, baby doll. It's Paul Gervasi. It's Gervasi.
Gervasi. Gervasi.
Gervasi, like wine. Gervasi.
Gervasi. I'm sorry. It's just my southern twang.
Oh, there's Jimmy Bucker. Is Jimmy on here? Maybe it's in something else.
Let's see. If he is, Jimmy, if you're here, comment so we can see you. Rob said that is a good Italian name.
So the girls at the bar. This is a true story where I have 6 Italian sisters, and shit always happens when they show up at shows or something. So the one arguing with the bartender is my sister. Well, she's playing Therese plays one of my sisters, giving the bartender shit like that. Hey, that's my brother up there. So that shit really. Most of the movie is true.
That is just awesome. That is just cool. Jordan, Rob said, no, see, Jordan and Rob, and Rooster all said the same thing right here. You rock, brother. Thanks for what you do.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, there's stuff that inspired me. If I can inspire other people, I do get at least one message, mostly on Facebook, a week about, hey, I mean, I was going to lose my business, but I said, fuck it, and I stuck it out, and I just did it. Well, you have to stick it out because nothing comes easy in life. I mean, this shit with Tom Cruise, people don't understand. He may be a millionaire, but he's also responsible to lose millions because it's his ass if something, because he's one of the producers on what film is he working on? Mission Impossible. He's responsible. He could lose everything in a lawsuit. So that's what people don't understand is like, when you're in charge of a movie or something, you're responsible for a lot of stuff. You're responsible for the success of the film. I know, you buy the land, you get the Indians. So I'm well aware of that.
Right.
Sometimes want other people to know before they, want something. Like, you don't understand. Like, my shit's tied up right now in this, and I'm asking you to get your IMDb filled out and do that. And it's a simple fucking do that. Don't ask to be in my movies unless you got your IMDb filled and you've done commercials, you've done even homemade videos or funny stuff or not a podcast or something,
Right. Right. Well, because you've got to they've got to bring something to the table. Rob said Rooster and Rob are brothers. They are two really great guys. Those two guys actually hooked me up with an interview next Saturday with Mr. Roger Capps, the original bass player for Pat Benatar. So they're
Oh,
really cool guys. Yeah. But they're big supporters. So they really dig your stuff and they're going to go check out Cherry Future and Trouble in
where are you
Heaven.
guys? Where do you guys live? Where are they at, Robin, Rooster?
Rooster, where are you and Rob out of? Rooster said Tom Cruise also has a new Top Gun coming out soon.
Yeah,
Roo-
get held up COVID.
They are out of Pittsburgh. They are out of Pittsburgh, PA.
Oh, cool. Are we
And
friends on Facebook?
Rob, are you and Rooster friends with Paul on Facebook? If not, send him a message, send him a like.
No, send me a friend request. That's cool.
Yeah, send him a friend request. It'll be Rob Jordan and Rooster Jordan.
I
And Kara,
already names.
uh, and Kara says, Soul Asylum did Runaway Train and Somebody to Shove.
Right. Okay, he was the girl, Beetlejuice. He was dating the girl. She was there too.
Kara? She's looking it up now.
Gosh,
And both of them said yes, they would. They would send you a friend request.
very nice. They sound like characters. I love the name Rooster. My brother had a band called the Roosters, which is in Drill or Killer, a movie. They played CBGBs, and the name of the band was the Roosters.
That's cool. Well, see, this might have been made in heaven. There you go.
Mary,
She
do
says,
this, you little.
she
I'm
says,
talking.
I have to think about that. She couldn't think of it off the top of her head. The question you asked about the Soul Asylum and Runaway Train and Somebody to Shove. She can't
Oh,
figure out.
okay, what's the girl's name that was in Beetlejuice? The young girl. She was dating Dave in Soul Asylum. The
Yeah, she
actress.
said she can't think of it. She can't think of it off the top of her head. And I can't either. Now you're gonna have me thinking. I'm gonna be looking that shit up when we get done. But brother, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being on here and give me a chance to get to know you. And I wish you nothing but huge success. And I look forward to coming down to Cali with Michelle and Roger and actually meeting you in person. And dude,
Hey, ask them about the Pussycat show that we were backstage with Tammy and they rolled in and they thought I was nice. I thought they were nice. So that's why we got on. Roger and
I think she told me that story about Shane Thornton says, was it Wona? Winna?
no,
Wi-
White Rider.
Winona
Yeah.
Ryder.
Yeah. So I walk in with Springsteen. Winona is there with Dave. And obviously I recognize them and I'm sitting with just met the boss and we're in a circle talking and Dave was so happy. Of course, all the attention was on Bruce and I'm standing there. But I have so many. See, these are not a big deal to some of my other rock star friends. They're like, oh shit. Well, I jammed with Eddie Van Halen. I was, some of my stories. So I always have to check myself. Like maybe to some people that's an interesting story. Other people are like, oh, hold my beer. That's nothing.
Right, right. Well, I tell you what, to my fans, just getting to know you as a person and learn who you are and your passions. This is they're loving it, and it's an honor, and they're enjoying the hell out of it. So I really thank you for coming on the show and letting us get to know Paul Travarsi. Did I say it right?
Gervasi.
Travasi. Paul
Jer,
Travasi. I'm
Jer,
trying. I'm Southern. I'm trying. I'm
well,
trying.
Southern would be Gervasi.
Travasi. See, I can do it that I could do it that way. See what I mean? Dang it.
I think there might be a role for you as a DJ, a Southern DJ. We are doing another Cherry Future, by the way.
I
You
would
didn't hear that?
love to. I would love to. I'll send you, and I do have a small little video I can send you. And it was just a promo thing, but when I hosted a show called here locally in Arkansas, it was called Fright Night, Friday 13th Fright Night. And the metal band I managed, 13X, they wanted their promo interview to be different than anyone else's and to go along with the theme of Fright Night. So they informed me when I got to the practice space, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to kidnap you. You're going to be standing behind the building and you're going to be on your phone, Facebook Live, and I'm going to come up behind you with this mask on. I'm going to put this over your head and you're going to sell it and act like we're actually kidnapping you and taking you to an undisclosed location. I never knew I could even act, but evidently I was good enough to where my daughter was fixing to call the law because she thought her mother was getting kidnapped on Facebook Live.
Oh, that's funny.
I was in big, deep shit for months over that promo video.
Oh, that's funny.
She's like, "You scared the shit out of me." People were texting, going, "Mary, are you alive?" They thought I was really getting kidnapped, but I just did
Well,
what they said.
Rancho La Rock.
Rancho La Rock. Check out Rancho La Rock.
Okay, if it was in Arkansas, how would you say it in Arkansas?
Rancho La Rock.
Well, that sounds LA. Y'all fixing to go to Rancho La Rock?
Y'all fixing to go to Rancho La Rock. See, I can have twang and I can fake not having twang, I think.
That's funny.
But I can be real country. Oh gosh. Rooster says, "Yes, Paul, you kick ass, bro." And Kara says, Valerie Valerie Caton, that it? She says, "Is that it?"
Yeah.
Okay. So we're getting caught up now. And she says she
Oh,
loves Beetlejuice.
yeah.
And Shane says, "Ranch of Rock, Arkansas talk."
Oh my goodness.
Oh goodness.
Did
Well,
you
brother,
see we had the little celebration December 5th? I posted a little
yeah.
video. So I was under so much COVID pressure. We're not supposed to have gatherings here, but the fucking governors can eat a dick. I had this celebration for my brother because I lost my brother in February, and we had his life celebration at the ranch, and it was all just my tight, just the Italian, the close family members, which ended up being like 26 people. But we were spaced out outside. at the cantina. Um, no one got sick. Everyone's healthy because it's been a few months now since I've had it. But just doing that was a lot of pressure for me. Um, oh my God, can you do this? You know, like the police will come. I'm like, there's no laws at the ranch. If you know where it is, there's no laws there. Um, it's funny. One day we were there and we were still in the building process, and I'd become friendly with the neighbors, which is pretty scary. And one neighbor came up with almost an empty bottle of gallon jug of whiskey, and this was Mother's Day, and he was not, not in a good feeling because he missed his mom, and he was stuck out
Right.
in the desert. Can I hang out with you guys and barbecue? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he's got this. I'm like, this homeboy is wasted, and he's an ex-military guy. But here's the thing: you have to just sort of not be a pussy and just hang out with people. And I thought, yeah, he's cool. And he got up at one point and he was mumbling. I'm like, hey, Jesus, the people that I'm friends with everyone as long as you're good to my family and friends and stuff,
Right.
whatever. He pulled us
Right.
aside and says, guys, let's shoot my gun. He whips out a 45 at my party barbecue, and I had to defuse the situation really quick because I don't want him shooting all drunk. But I pulled him. I said, "Yeah, let's go shoot it over here." So I pulled him away from everybody, and we all took turns. I said,
Right.
"Let's fucking empty this gun and shoot, at a rock out in the distance where it was safe." We emptied the gun and shot it, and I was just like, instead of causing a scene, like, no, you can't do that, man. I was like, I had to, like, it's his area, so I would just sort of said, let's just empty the gun, shoot it. We sat back down. He was about passing out, and he got up and left. He stumbled out of the ranch, and I said, "Hey, you forgot your gun." So hey, you forgot your gun, and that was just. This life is not for everyone. It's not, it's not soft. It's definitely a harder life, but
Right.
it's well. I'm used to LA. It's different than LA's. Like LA's dangerous too. You have to be constantly have your ears and eyes open, and probably have to stay armed a little bit, and nothing will happen because they sort of sense like this guy's watching. I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna pass him by.
Right.
So my point is. Uh, what was my point, Mary? I just don't be scared of life. Just live it and be
Enjoy it.
enjoy and be happy. I don't know where I'm
Exactly.
going. It's the wine
Exactly.
talk.
Well, brother, it has been awesome getting to know you and letting the fans get to know you. And I look forward to actually getting to meet you in person and hang out and us have a glass of I don't even drink wine, but I will drink a glass of wine with you just to try it out.
Yeah, see you guys. We'll definitely plan something.
Heck
Just
yeah.
look over. I think by summer we'll be okay. Um, just remember the World War II was a lot worse. The Depression was probably worse than this. The Black Plague was probably worse. So quit your fucking complaining. You know.
I just love you. Quit your bitching. Bubba, you have a great night and a great weekend. And after you get all the papers, signed and get going and it's ready to drop, I would love to have you back on the show to talk about your next movie or anything you want to talk about, bro, anytime. My
Okay. Well,
doors are open to
you know,
you.
yeah. A week before we drop this bad boy, we'll set something up and do it. But thanks for having me. Thanks for everyone listening. Where's my hand? And Maynard's wine helped me get through this interview.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Well, I hope you have fun though.
All right, people, keep your eye on the prize. Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year, brother. Love you. All right,
Love-
bye. Guys, that was Paul Traversing. He is just an awesome, awesome dude. You need to go check him out. Check out Trouble in Heaven. Check out Cherry Future. Check out all his movies. Go check him out on IBMD. Uh, it has his listings of all the projects that he's taken part in. He's got a new movie he's working on that he can't talk about too much. We know Shane, the legalities and stuff behind the scenes. But, he is just an awesome, just laid back, cool dude. So go show him some love. Tell him Mama Mary sent you. And I will play y'all. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do real quick. Don't. YouTube. Now, don't forget, guys, that on Tuesday, I have my next double shot Tuesday. And on Tuesday, 5 p.m., 4 p.m. Central Standard Time to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, at 4 p.m. they're both 434 bands. I'm really excited. The first one is Pandora and Her Box, and then we got Terraform. So be watching for the promos on that. Be watching for the promos on that. And after that, on the 12th, I have Cajun Elliott at 4 p.m. on that next Tuesday, and Pantheon at 4 p.m. And then I get to interview on the 16th, which is a Saturday. I get to interview the original bass player for Pat Benatar, Mr. Roger Capps. So keep watching because lots of cool stuff is going to be happening. Lots of cool people. I want to send a shout out to Rob and your brother, Rooster, for helping me get that Roger Cap interview set up. And remember, guys, my show is sponsored by RFL Records, Dazzle You Promotions, and Soundbone Promo. So go check them out, go show them love, and go check out 434 Management and Pat Groove Records and go show them love. Guys, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me and Paul. And I'm going to get off here and go spend some time with my sweetie. I love you guys, and I will see y'all Tuesday.